I'm Burj. I'm the CEO of Pricing, and today I'm here with you all to talk about what is willingness to pay and why it's an important concept for online retailers. Willingness to pay is the maximum amount of money one person is willing to give to you in return for your product or service. What's better than knowing how much shoppers are willing to pay, right? If you had such information, you would simply calculate how many people would buy from you at each price point. That would give you exact control over revenue with very little margin of error. But you can't do that in real life, likely because of the size of your target markets. And also because measuring willingness to pay with a statistical confidence is a very costly and highly technical process. It depends on the context, and the factors that influence it are in flux most of the time. It even changes because you are measuring it. Instead, you can follow a rather simpler direction. 1. You can learn what influences shoppers' willingness to pay, and 2. You can have realistic expectations. So, let's think about what influences our willingness to pay. Now, we all know that brand image has a strong influence on how much we are willing to spend on stuff. Because when it's an established brand, we assume quality, right? Do you remember Windows Vista though? Nobody would have thought Microsoft would launch a model that's inferior to the previous one on so many levels. But they sold 55 million Vista licenses just that year. Even with all the fuss that the model wasn't compatible with other software, or the fact that it was even slower than XP, they have sold that much. So, what I mean is, whether we think an item is worth the money or not sometimes depends too much on how we perceive the brand itself. I say too much because we often mistake expensive for high quality. And we are surrounded by low-cost items that prove otherwise. This makeup removing solution from Bioderma, for example, is so popular in many places all over the world. Because it works well and it's cheaper than all the other high-quality products. Another thing that influences our willingness to pay is the emotional and self-expressive benefits we get from an item. Think of designer brands. Do you think luxury shoppers shop for durability, or do they shop for the feeling of owning a luxury item? Or think of the Beats headphones, for example. In the late 2000s, Beats took America by storm. We saw Hollywood celebrity endorsements, and we saw them using these headphones in their daily lives. Beats quickly became something that many people had to have. Well, that's the lifestyle they are selling. People were not pulled towards the sound quality, we all know that. So, in this case, we see that when it comes to willingness to pay, sometimes emotional and self-expressive benefits are more influential than performance or quality. Alright, as you might have noticed until now, we talked about all the things that a manufacturer brand would consider when marketing their product. Here is what you need to know as an online retailer working with those brands. People's willingness to pay largely depends on reference prices. Let's think about TVs. It's common sense. A regular TV shouldn't cost you 10 grand, right? You know that for a fact because most TVs you see are sold at a much lower price. Those prices you're exposed to, all the TV ads you see online, for example, influence what you think is a fair price for an item. They are called external reference prices. In our subconscious, we construct these internal reference price points. And when a shopper browses a product online, they see countless stores selling it. Naturally, those external price points influence their buying behavior. So, always keep in mind, online prices are transparent. That's why offering competitive prices is really important. And the funny thing about reference prices, we can't control that thought process. Even the most irrelevant external references influence our spending decisions. In one study, for instance, participants were asked how much they are willing to pay for a product, and researchers observed that they were even influenced by what another person paid for an entirely different product. That means even how the products are sorted on your store is important. Which products are displayed together, whether you see the full price when there's a discount, etc. Alright everyone, today we talked about what influences our willingness to pay. Most important lesson for any seller today is that shoppers are influenced by the prices they see everywhere. And online prices are transparent. They see what everyone charges for an item and it has a huge impact on their willingness to pay. That's one important reason why you need to monitor your competitors and make sure you are offering competitive prices. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more. Also, don't forget to check out our channel for more information on e-commerce pricing strategies. Take care.